Happy Tuesday, Flosstube. Hello, crafty friends. How's everybody doing today? My name's Caroline. Welcome back to my Flosstube channel. It's been a while. It has been a while, and I have, in fact, you know, I was planning on what I was going to share with you today, and there was so much I thought I'm just gonna have to save some of this for next week because otherwise we'd be here all day. Today is Tuesday, September the 13th, 2022. I'm recording here in London, Ontario, Canada. And I mentioned my name is Caroline. I am the owner of Evertote, which is an online crafting retail shop where we sell project bags for crafters, as well as the Leo&Roxy Floss Co line of linens and cotton over dyed threads, as well as the exclusive home of Hearthside Craftworks frames. More on Hearthside later. Yeah, I'll update you on what's been going on with Hearthside Craftworks at the end of this video. Okay, so let's get right to it. It has been a while. Has it been a month? It might have even been a month since the last time I recorded a video. So I have a giveaway to take care of. The last Flosstube video that I did, I put up a very sweet little tiny modernist chart for giveaway. This unicorn chart, which is adorable. And I used the YouTube random comment picker. I had 22 unique comments I was looking for the word unicorn. Congratulations, Anne Dilworth. Your comment was chosen. And I know you have an order in the shop, so I will tuck this in with your order when we ship it out for you. Thanks, Anne. Thank you, everybody who played along. I have another giveaway for today. This one is from my deep stash. This is a stash giveaway. This is a chart. This chart. I want to send this to someone in good faith who will enjoy it, because I cannot stitch this chart anymore. I started this chart. This chart has a very sad history, so I'd like to give it a happy ending to its story and send it off to a new home where someone else will enjoy it and stitch it. This is a lovely chart by Beth Twist, Heartstring Samplery. His Eye is on the Sparrow. We all know this chart. It's an absolutely gorgeous chart. And yeah, I purchased this chart before my local needle workshop at the time, which was Thread and Eye, before they retired. So I started this chart before I even started recording Flosstube videos, which was 5 years ago. Kitted it up with all of the called for materials, and then proceeded to stitch away for at least 6 months. You know, I'm not a monogamous project stitcher, but I really was, I was focusing, and I was really enjoying it, and I was having a great time. I stitched, let me tell you what I actually can't find my stitching of this. I think, yeah, I've had to put it out of my mind. I actually did end up, I'll tell you that part of the story in a minute. So I started on the left-hand corner, and I stitched the entire left-hand corner. So I had that huge flower that was done, and let's get that too. There we go. The flower was done. The huge weird dog reindeer was done. All of these little motifs, that was all done. The border was moving along. I was trucking along, and I got along to about here, and I thought, why does it seem like I don't have enough space to finish this border? Yeah, I had begun my project with the fabric and with an incorrect orientation to my fabric, and I had started, yeah, it was wrong, and there was no way to salvage it because I wouldn't have had enough room. Not even with a 1/2 inch border, it would have gone right off the end. It was a disaster. I was just speaking with someone yesterday. It was Carrie. It was Carrie Mascio Dyer, and you know, we were talking about it was Ryan. We were watching Rai McGuy on Flosstube, and Ryan, I think, was saying something like he was mad at his stitching, and Carrie said, I don't think I've ever been mad at my stitching. And I said, I have once. once that sticks out in my memory, that I was really angry at my stitching. Yeah, and it wasn't that I was mad at myself because it was such a foolish mistake, but we all make them. It happens. Anyways, long story short, I'm giving this chart away. It's time to find a new home. This chart comes with an added, very, very special little bit of a coffee splash on the instructions. So, forewarned, it saw love. The chart is all here. There is no writing on the chart. It is the chart is in mint condition. So leave me a comment below if you would like to be entered for me to send this chart to you. Leave me the word mistake. Leave me the word mistake in your comment, and I don't know, tell me about a huge mistake that you made when you got really mad at your stitching. So that's the giveaway for this week's Flosstube video. All right, so I have so much to share with you today. Now my choice is, do I show you my finish and all of the amazing things that I've had framed since the last time I saw you, or do I show you my works in progress first? Normally I would show finishes first, so let's go that route. Okay. It's going to be a lot of, you're going to feel like it's holiday time here because there's a lot of holiday FFOs. However, I can't, I have to start with this because I had a finish. September, I don't know, it was maybe 10 days ago. I finished this, and I did post about it on my Instagram account, which is at Evertotes. And are you ready? Ta-da! Ring the bell. I finished my Moonshine cabin and I love it. I have to tell you, I was completely inspired. Now, this was really funny. I told you that I had seen an Instagrammer, Chris_B Stitches. Chris B Stitch. It's either Chris B Stitch or Crispy Stitches. I'll put it in here so that you can go and see her account. And I had mentioned that she had finished hers and she had purchased a frame from Modern Hoopla, which is a business down in the States, I think from Virginia, she makes wooden round frames to frame projects just like this. And Chris had bought a frame for hers, and apparently I was talking about it, and Chris had just had knee surgery, and she had Flosstube on in the background, and her daughter came running into the room and said, Mom, you're on Flosstube, which I thought that was so fun. So hopefully, Chris, you see this again, because it is entirely due to you that I was completely inspired to finish mine, because I'm treating myself. I'm going to purchase myself a Modern Hoopla frame. I haven't done it yet because I always talk about Kathy and Neil. Kathy and Neil were the owners of Thread and I, and we are very good friends. I see them at least once a week, and Kathy also stitched the Moonshine cabin. And so because Neil still does so much framing for me, I wanted to thank them a little bit. Now, I know this seems really cheeky. I said this to Neil. I said, I know you do all the framing, but I'm actually going to buy your wife a frame. So I am buying both Kathy and I Modern Hoopla frames for this chart. And I would like to get the one. She has one that sits in a little wooden stand, and I want to put it right there. That's where I want to put it right there. I can see it. So that's the plan. So let me tell you the details. This was an Evertote, Leo&Roxy Floss Co, Modern Folk Embroidery collaboration. This is a collaboration that we put together last year. Right around this time last year was when we were shipping them out to people. Came with a bag set, came with the floss, the linen, the chart. needle minder. I mean, it was a great kit and it was so much fun to put together. And yeah, I'm really pleased that I finally finished it. So I stitched mine on a 36 count fabric. The fabric is a Leo&Roxy Floss Co Night Owl linen. This was the 36 count that I'm sending out with the kits. The 36 count Night Owl that I have in stock as yardage that I'm selling, I have a few yards left of just plain 36 count Night Owl. It's a little darker. It's a little darker. There's a little less of this modeling in it. It's more of a black, dark gray, if that makes sense. So I still have, I mean, not this identical dye lot, but I still have some yardage that I'm cutting down and sending out separately for the Night Owl kits. Anyways, 36 count fabric, and I used 2 strands of floss over 2. And I love it so much. That moon, there's a lot of stitching in that moon, surprisingly. But look at all the little curly cues and the snow. I'm often asked, and I usually forget to say, I carry the threads. At least I did on this piece. I carried the threads for my snowflakes. That's the back of the project. So you can see I did not start and stop for every single individual snowflake. Carried the thread. So you can't tell at all. No. Ta-da! So I'm pretty pleased with that. I actually have one other finish. It's not an FFO, and it's not, this is one of 6 smalls that I am stitching. And this was a start and finish last weekend. John and I snuck up north for the weekend. We went up to the cottage last weekend. We left the kids at home. We took Luna with us. We went up to the cottage for the weekend to see how his dad was doing. We've been really busy this summer. This was only the second time I've actually made it to the cottage this entire summer. And his dad has been on his own up there a lot more than we really would have liked. Now, yes, he's still able to drive. I mean, he could have gotten in his car and come to London. He has an apartment here in London where he lives that's, 5 minutes away from us, but he loves it up there. And so, he's an adult, he's a grown up. If he wants to stay up there, he can. But we felt that he must have been lonely. So anyways, long story short, we went up this weekend and I took way more stitching than I ever, I did one thing. I took 8 projects and I worked on one thing, and this was it. So I started it and I finished it. I'll show you the project, I'll show you the stitching first, and then I'll tell you about it. So there it is. Let's bring it closer so that you can actually see there. I'm going to try and angle it so that you actually get the real colors. I'm not even sure I can get it. It's really tough in artificial light to show you how great this looks. I might have to, you know what? I'm going to turn the camera around so that I can show you. And then I can show you the floss, and I'll show you a close-up of the chart that I'm using as well. I'll tell you a little bit more about that. Okay, hang on. Okay. So you can see there is some variegation in there from a blue to a purple. Do you hear the snoring in the background? That's Luna. I dragged her bed in here because there's no carpet in this room, and she just ticks around on the floor and looks at me until I bring her bed in. Look at that color. Isn't it pretty? Yeah. This is 40 count Snickerdoodle linen, Leo&Roxy Floss Co linen, and this floss is called Sulley. So I'm going to show you this floss. Let's bring it over here. This is the set of 5 hand-painted flosses that Carrie had done specifically for Stitch North in April. And The floss that I used to stitch this small is called Sulley. And if you watched Monsters, Inc., you'll recognize immediately why we named it Sulley. It's a beautiful blue, purple variegation, and it's just so pretty. So that's what it looks like stitched up. In the same pack, there's Warm and Fuzzy and Gilbert Grape and Palomino, which is one of my favorites. Look at the variegation in that. And then Encore. We named it Encore because we have a lot of reds. So this was another red, Encore. This Encore, so these are all one of a kinds. Anyways, okay, so let me tell you my plans. Check this out. See this chart? This is Nonet #1 by Arlene Cohen, Works by ABC. You can find this chart. I think she sells physical, I think she mails physical copies as well, but definitely almost maybe positive that she sells it as a PDF on her Etsy. I think she's got her own website, Works by ABC. I purchased mine at the New Jersey Flosstube retreat. That's why I'm a little unsure, but I'm pretty sure if you just Google Works by ABC Nonet #1, you'd easily find this chart. So what I'm doing is I've picked 6, I'm only picking one at a time. I'm going to just pick the next one when I'm ready, individual motifs, and then I'm going to stitch them using the different floss colors, and then I'm going to make needle books. I'm going to make little, small, perfect, amazing needle books with them. I'm going to choose some cotton quilting fabric that will coordinate with each of those floss colors, and then I'm going to turn it into a needle book. So that is my big plan, and I'm really excited because look at how pretty it is. I can see it, and it's going to be amazing. Yeah, it's going to be really good. Okay, so there you go, my second little finish. So, right? I am very excited about, I had to stop myself from cutting up that fabric and making the needle book late last night because, well, I had nothing at home in order to make it, but it's when you get that urge and you just want to do it. So anyway, okay, so I have some fully FFO'd things to share with you. A lot of them are things, you know how when you finish something and then it gets layered in a nice, neat, tidy stack of things that then gets rolled up carefully and saved in your closet? I've had a few of those things framed. And I would like to share them with you, but I'm going to save them until the end because, well, I don't know, it just feels like I should continue on showing you the things that I've been currently stitching. So I've been in kind of a Halloween-y mood. I am not normally a Halloween stitcher, which is, it's odd that, frankly, I have 3 really quite seasonally appropriate projects on the go. So the first one I'll share with you is one that's it's kind of frankly been in timeout for the last couple of weeks. And this is one that almost was in timeout before, and I fixed it immediately, and then immediately again made another rather annoying mistake. So, which I know, she's so cute, right? I have to fix this. I fixed the initial mistake, and then I did quite a bit of her skirt, and then see over here, see that there? Yeah, that is wrong, and you can see it's wrong, but no, I kept blithely stitching down in here, didn't notice it at all. So this all needs to be ripped out. It is, again, 1 stitch too wide. She's too hippie, so I need to take all of this out and restitch it. But I mean, come on, look at that. Her skirt is going to be magnificent when it's done. And actually, it's surprising how quickly this chart stitches up. This is Witch by La Di Da, and I'm stitching it on a 32 count, one of a kind Leo&Roxy Floss Co linen with 2 strands of Vampish. All of the project details on all of the projects that I'm sharing with you today, the details will be in the drop down box below. So if you're looking for more information on anything that I'm talking about, I will do my best to remember to leave a description down below. Yeah, I need to fix it. Okay, second Halloween inspired piece is my Black Cats and Spooky Bats by ParkHopperBart. I've actually done more on this than I thought, because it's been a week or so since I picked it up, and when I was pulling my things together this morning to bring to the workshop to share with you, I unfolded it and I'm like, oh yeah, I actually did a lot more on that than I remembered. So here's where I'm at. Black Cats and Spooky Bats. This is a 28 count even weave by Picture This Plus called Cyprium, and I am using Bart's called for Leo&Roxy Floss Co colors. So it is Vampish, Sage is the green, Amethyst is the purple, and Haystack is the, I mean, I don't have a lot of haystack in there at the moment, but you can see it's the little yellow X's in the middle there. There we go. See? Ooh, look at that. So since I last shared it with you, most of this is new. I finished the purple motif here, and this row, none of that was there. So that's there now. I just need to finish those little haystack X's in those 2 spots there, and then that banner would be done. Yeah, need to get on that. Okay. Next up, this is a floss conversion that I've been working on for the shop. This is a chart that I've wanted to stitch for a really long time. This is Nevermore by Lila's Studio. This has honestly been a piece that I've wanted to stitch forever. And so I actually started this chart a year ago with some Leo&Roxy floss that I had in the shop, and it was a piece of ecru 40 count linen from Hand Dyed by Rolanda. It's lovely. It's lovely linen. So I didn't restart this because I didn't like the things that I was using. This was my original version. So you can see it's a beautiful light colored linen with some gentle modeling. It's really pretty. And I had started off with, this is Morticia and Vixen. There. That's pretty true. And then I was using some Plum Shadow in the flag triangles there. So really pretty, right? But I was really having trouble deciding where to go with it. And I think frankly that's why it sort of sat, and I sort of thought about it, and every once in a while I'd think about it and I think, yeah, I should get back to that, but I couldn't see in my mind. I say that a lot, don't I? That I can see it. And it's true. When I can see something so clearly like that, decisions like this are easy for me. But if I can't see the whole picture at the beginning, I find that really difficult. I don't know if that makes sense to you, or if maybe you're similar to me in that way. But anyways, that's just how it is. Sometimes if I can just see something at the beginning, I can see how it's going to be, and I already know it's going to be good. For some reason, usually it usually works. I mean, not always, but a lot of the time. I know it seems kind of weird, doesn't it? That plant, fake. Totally fake. It would not be real. It would be dead if it was real. Was Carrie. Carrie brought 2 to the workshop. I'll tell you more about that later. Anyways, here, I know, because I'm like, things catch my eye as I'm talking to you, and I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't tell you about the plant, and I didn't tell you about that new thing that's right there. I haven't told you about that yet either. I know. So we'll get there. Don't worry. And if we don't get there today, we'll get there next week. Here's my new version. Okay? So let's look at the differences. First of all, there's quite a marked difference in the color of the linen. The linen I'm using now is a few shades darker. And I tried starting with Morticia in the bottom, and it just wasn't working because I wanted my red to be a little darker. So I switched out my red from Vixen, and I'm now using Wednesday. That's the name of that floss. So that's Wednesday. This is now Plum Shadow, and then Vampish, not Caramel, is it Caramel? No, Annie, and then Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown is the brown in there. So, you know, I'm going to be doing another video specifically about this conversion later this week on my other YouTube channel, which is the YouTube channel that's actually dedicated to the shop, which is Evertote Notes from the Workshop. There's a link in the drop-down box below to that other YouTube channel. I'll be doing a better description of what I'm doing with my conversion, because I'm not converting this chart to be similar colors to what Lila designed the chart for. I'm actually doing completely different colors. So it's not like my symbols won't even match up. So I can't even give like a conversion list. I'm not swapping one color for another. I'm doing more a general idea of this is what the picture looks like and this is where I want this color to go. And so sometimes where Lila has used a color in only one place, I may be using it in 2, or if she's used it in 3 places, I may be only using it in 1. I'm only using 6 colors for the whole thing. And it's got a really autumnal feel. I really like it so far. So it is a shop model for me. So I will be continuing to work on this over the next little while. It's not a huge chart. I'm using a piece of 40 count dirty porcelain. And we only have dirty porcelain in a 40 count because it was supposed to be porcelain, but it was too dark for porcelain. So, and I had, I think I had 6 yards of it, and it's gorgeous. It's just too dark to be sold as porcelain. So I thought, hey, that linen is actually perfect for this thing that I want to stitch. And oh yeah, look at that. It feels like fall. It feels like pumpkin spice latte. It feels like the air is finally going to cool down. Please let the air finally. It's been really warm here again. And this morning it was raining. I had my hair looked great this morning when I left the house. I kid you not. Second day hair. Second day hair is never reliable for curly heads. It can sometimes be okay, but usually first day hair is really good. Second day hair is meh. And I woke up this morning and I'm like, wow, second day hair looks pretty good today. I can record a Flosstube video and not be embarrassed. And then it was raining when I left. And then second day hair completely fell apart. So hence the clip. It doesn't look, I don't hate it. It looks fine. It's just, it looked particularly good this morning. And now it looks, it's okay. There you go. See, I've been away from you for too long. And now you get all of my stories. So yes, look at this little motif here. I finished this late last night because I couldn't stop. I was listening to a really good audiobook. If you're a fan of adventure, dystopian fantasy novels, this was a book was recommended to me by my brother. The author's name is Pierce Brown, and I believe it's the first of a trilogy called Red Rising. So good, so good. And I was at the end of the book and I didn't want to go to bed until the book was done. I have not sat and read an actual book for a few years now. It's actually kind of sad. But I listened to a lot of audiobooks, and this one was particularly good. I just had to listen right to the end, and so it was really late. And I finished that little motif last night while I was listening to my book. So that is Plum Shadow. And then there's one motif that's directly above it, and I'm going to stitch that in Plum Shadow as well. This is Wednesday, which is repeated in the border down here. That's Wednesday there. So you can see it's a mud. Oh, and those X's there in the border, that's Vampish. So I'm mixing Wednesday and Vampish there. When I angle it, you can really see the color, except when it tries to focus on my hair. Look at that. Yeah, pretty, 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 pretty. Matches my nails. My daughter Sarah has managed to convince me the last couple of times to go and get manicures together, because I don't see her very much. She had a job in the summer and was not living at home for the summer, and so when she would come home on the weekends, she would, you know, be hanging out with her friends, and we wouldn't have a lot of time together. And actually it was her idea. She said, why don't we go get manicures together, and then we can hang out, we can sit beside each other. So I mean, how do you turn that down? So I think, you know, if my nails look nice, you can thank my daughter for that, because it's not normally something that I would do. Anyways, that's my Lila Studios Nevermore. I'm really, really enjoying it. So I hope to have more progress to share with you on that next week. Oh, okay. One last thing before I share all of these beautiful finished pieces with you. I wanted to talk a little bit about the holiday countdown. The holiday we are in the thick of holiday countdown around the workshop here, and it's amazing. It is going to be, it's going to be epic. It's going to be really, really good. So the holiday countdown is going to, if you don't know what it is, this is a collaboration between myself, Evertote, Leo&Roxy Floss Co, and Modern Folk Embroidery. And this is basically a countdown to Christmas Day. It's a holiday countdown during the month of December, and I'm going to be hosting daily stitch along videos here on this channel, and that's why I'm choosing to share this information that I'm talking about to you now on this channel and not the Evertote channel, because all of the daily, I'm gonna go full on Vlogmas, Flossmas, everyday daily videos in the month of December. I cannot wait. I'm so excited about it. It's I can't wait to stitch this chart. And so the way it works is in April we opened up the option to purchase a holiday countdown box with 25 individual days of surprises. So basically you will open up, you'll get a new part to the pattern every day, as well as, well, I don't want to say too much because it's supposed to be a surprise, right? But anyways, we're putting them together now. We are going to be starting shipping these out quite soon. Within the next 2 weeks, we have to start shipping. So we're getting close. We still have a fair bit of packaging work to do, and shipping is going to start soon. So don't worry, we're on it. Shipping these boxes, by the time we're ready to actually start paying postage and shipping them out, that's actually going to take us 10 business days. So if you got this with a friend and maybe they received their shipping notification but you haven't received yours yet, Just keep that in mind. It's going to take us at least 10 full business days to ship all of the countdown boxes out. Those are all sold out. But if you would like to participate in the daily stitch along, hosted by me, and it's going to happen here on the channel, and I am fully committing to getting this stitching done every day. So, do you think I can do it? I know you do. I know you think I can do it. I know you're going to be cheering me on. You're not going to be wishing me ill at all. So, you can tune in every day. You can join in stitching this with me. So, I actually have it in my hands. I'm not going to show you any of the inside of it, but I thought you might like to see the cover. So if you'd like to join us in the stitch along, we have the chart available for sale. You can see it is going to be a band sampler. And that is the only information I'm giving you. You can choose your own colors. You can choose to do the band sampler in one floss color. You can choose to do the band sampler in 25 different colors, whatever you would like. This will not be available as a PDF. We just can't do it that way. It's only going to be because each day is unique and we don't want spoilers out there or anything like that. So this is only going to be available as a physical chart. So if you would like to participate in the December stitch along, now is the time to purchase your chart. We have this available for sale in the shop. It is not laid out like a regular pattern. It is laid out like the countdown. So it's still a surprise. Even though you are getting all 25 days at once, it's still, you cannot really tell how the whole thing gets put together until you get to the end. And you're getting basically the same format of the countdown. It's just you're getting it all at once. So of course, again, we would ask that if this is the way that you're participating in the stitch along, that you not share ahead of time. We know that there are going to be stitchers who jump ahead and stitch ahead of time, but you know, for the sake of the fun of it, please don't share. We're just going to try really hard to try and keep this as fun an event as possible. Community together, all of us stitching each day together in whatever format that may be, whether you have the full box or if you just want to join us in with the stitch along. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So this starts December 1st. Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready? Because we have a parade of FFOs ahead. So, like, seeing these things framed up is it's so fun. Okay, so I'm gonna start from small to big. Small to big. First up is a Jeanette Douglas Christmas ornament. This was one of, I think, 3. Oh, a few months ago, I started a new segment, a segment I don't do every video, but it's called Whatever Happened To. And I'll bring back an old whip from the stash pile and talk about, you know, whatever happened to. Oh, Amtrak, I'm still working on it. Don't worry. It's at home, but I promise you, I finished that whole bottom motif. Okay, so, but when I started this segment, a number of you asked, whatever happened to the first time you did Flossmas and every day you started a new ornament, and whatever happened to all of those ornaments? I think I finished 3 of them. This was one of them. And instead of finishing it into an ornament, Neil framed it for me. And it is the cutest thing ever. Look. Look at that. It's so sweet. I love this. Let me bring it up nice and close so you can see the detail in it. I believe this was from the 2015 Just Cross Stitch ornament, Christmas ornament magazine. And it was it's absolutely 100% a Jeanette Douglas chart. I'm just a little unsure as to whether it was 2014 or 2015. It was one or the other. But how sweet is that? Holiday, like December holiday stitching is my favorite. Favorite. And I love winter. I love snow. I love winter. I love the holidays. I love hot cocoa, watching Christmas movies, drinking hot coffee with the fire on. Like that is hands down the month of December. That's my favorite month, without beyond a shadow of a doubt. And so my stitching that I have finished really reflects that. The smalls that I've finished. Yeah. Look at that. I know, right? So this is a Little House Needleworks design. I think, right? I don't think it's Country Cottage. I'm pretty sure it's Little House Needleworks. Little House Needleworks. These, I finished these quite a while ago. I know I was stitching this while I was recording Flosstube. I know I've shared the finish before, but look at that sweet frame that Neil did for that. Isn't that nice? Warm winter woolens. I used all of the called for flosses except the green, because I didn't have the called for green in my stash. So I used, oh, good gravy. I think it was another Classic Colorworks green that I had. I'm sorry, I can't remember what it was, but everything else was called for flosses. Look at his little sweater. It's just so cute. Stitching this was really fun. This 40 count linen, just a remnant that I had. I don't know what it is. It was just a remnant in my stash, but definitely 40 count 1/2, I think. Yeah, of course it is 1/2. I wasn't stitching 46 count back then. Yeah, adorable. Keeping with our holiday theme, many of you will remember this. Check this out. Rooftop Cocoa Shop. Yeah, look at that frame. Isn't that good? I love what he did here. Neil brought the stitching right up to the top so that it would look like the ornaments were hanging from the roof. Look at that. So that they're hung from the frame. Look at, it's so cute. This was a design by Lindy Stitches. And this was one of the very first winter holiday Evertote collaborations that I ever did. So this was back from 2018, 19? Might have been 2019. And Stephanie designed the chart, and there was a bag, and it was a whole thing, and Neil framed it for me. It's all done. I had a shop model stitched by my friend Kim, Crafty Kim on YouTube. Many of you know her well. She is a phenomenal stitcher, and when we did this collaboration, Kim stitched the model for me. I'll have to bring it in next week because it's at home. She let me. I'm wondering if I should give her back to her because it's so stinking cute. It's at home. I bring it out at the holidays, and I really should give it to Kim because she's the one who stitched it, and she should be able to keep it now that I have my own. I'm pretty sure that Stephanie has this chart available as a PDF on her website. So that's Lindy Stitches. And I stitched it with the called for DMC floss. I don't remember what the fabric is. It looks like a 32 count. I suspect, yeah, it's a 32 count, 2 strands of floss over 2. Cute. That was really fun. Do you remember this one? This one was so much fun to stitch. I remember I finished this on New Year's Day. So it was like January 1st. I was so close to a finish. I really wanted to see it. I don't even remember what year it was, but I really wanted to finish out the year with an FO. And I just couldn't quite make it. So the very first thing I did on January 1st was finish up the stitching of this. And this is another Little House Needleworks design. I believe it's from a series of 12 charts. I think they were monthly charts that came out, like ornament charts. I can't remember the name of the series, but they're fairly well known. And I used all of the called for flosses. This was really a fun stitch. I know it looks like it's washing out a little bit. Snoring. Yeah. So, can you tell that I like winter stitching? I mean, if it isn't obvious by now. all of my finished stitching, it was all winter stitching. I like what I like. This was a design by Scissor Tail Designs, and I totally stitched this based off of a shop model that Neil had stitched at Thread and Eye, and the original design was all white, and Neil had added the red to the word, the hat, the scarf, and the nose. He turned it into Rudolph. So I just fell in love with it. It was so sweet. So I totally was a copycat. I totally copied Neil's ideas, and then I stitched it just like he did. So Scissor Tail Designs, pretty sure that's right. Scissor Tail Designs, and I think it's just called Merry, or maybe it's just called White Christmas. I can't remember. This was so long ago, you guys. I really can't remember. It's the called for linen. It's the called, I think it's white. It's maybe B5200. And then I used I had a really gorgeous silk, a soie d'Alger in my stash that was the perfect red color. And so because there's so little of it used in this, I think I only had 2 yards. So I used it for the hat and anywhere there's red, that's what I used. Isn't it pretty? And look what he did. He added this extra detail in there, and it matches the sort of burgundy color of the floss. It's perfect. He's a genius. So yeah. So those are all of my old projects that Neil framed for me. And yeah, they're all winter. I am unapologetically in love with winter. Summer really, and I don't say this lightly because I know a lot of people love summer and they really hate the snow. And I don't poo-poo that at all, because I think we are affected by the weather and everybody's different. I really do not do well in the heat. I don't love heat. It doesn't make me feel great. I don't enjoy it. I'm not a water sports lover. I hate the boat, all that kind of stuff. I adore the snow and the winter and the cold and the coziness and the hygge. I'm all about that. And I know I'm not quite saying that right. I'm not Danish, and I'm not the hygge stitcher, but hygge, that feeling of coziness and comfort and all around feel, that is my favorite. I love it. I have one more though. I did not stitch this. This was a shop model stitched by my very good friend, Ellen Reed. Maximum Cross Stitch Power Hour. Lady Man. OMG, look at that. So this is a Leo&Roxy Floss Co conversion. We have a floss pack for this chart, and Ellen stitched it. She finished it at Stitch North, and it's spectacular. This is a design by Michelle Bendy. Michelle Garrett, who is Bendy Stitchy Designs. It's fantastic. It's really, I love this chart. It's so fun. And this purple, that is grape soda, Leo&Roxy grape soda, and it's an absolutely, oh, I love that color. So good. And yes, the last time I shared this, someone pointed out that one of the butterflies is missing a stitch. Yes, that is correct, because that is how it's charted. This is a reproduction sampler. Michelle reproduced it true to form. The model is missing the stitch. The design is missing the stitch. It's intentional. Look at that. Cute, right? It's a great chart. So Lady Man is now going to be hanging here at the workshop. Love it. Whew, are you still with me? We did it. We got to the end. That's what I had for you today. I'm sure I've forgotten about 100 things that I've, you know, over the last few weeks I've had, oh, I have to tell Flosstube this, or I have to tell Flosstube that, or, you know, so many things. Very briefly, personal wise, now that we're kind of at the end here, I'll just tell you a little bit about what's been going on. Briefly, my son started high school, and he is now a week and a half, what is today? Today's Tuesday, almost a week and a half in, and it's going well so far. I know we're early days, but I think, you know, that feeling when you first get into a place and it's brand new and you feel like you've found some friends where you fit in, and we all know that feeling. As Stitchers, we all know that feeling of community and fitting in. And I think my son has found that at his high school, and I'm thrilled for him. So he's doing really well. Sarah is in her final year of university. She's finishing up her degree this year, and she is a going concern. She's busy all the time, but happy. She's doing really well. John has wrapped up his work at his retail store, where he was co-owners with his business partner, and he has now stepped back from that position at the office. He now does some work from home for his old business. So he's still connected to his original business, but he's just there in a sort of different way. He's stepped back, and he now works at home. He is now going to be manufacturing and making the Hearthside Craftwork floor frames and lap frames for Stitchers. He spent the last week of August out in Calgary, Alberta, with the original owners of the company, John and Helen Wilkes. Lovely, lovely family who started this business over 25 years ago and just have a magnificent product. John Wilkes, the original maker of the stands, every individual piece of these stands is made by hand. Unless it's metal, it's made by hand. So he didn't make the screws that go into it, but every single piece is made by hand. And let me tell you, they are a lot of work, and it is, you know, woodworking is a skill. And so my John is having to practice all of these skills, learn all of these new tools. That he now has a workshop in our garage. It's all set up, and this week he is practicing and practicing and practicing. There are a lot of things to practice because the quality of these stands is well known, and we want to continue the tradition that, you know, Hearthside. I've been using my Mark II floor frame for 15 years. There's a reason why. Stitchers who buy them love them. But yeah, I mean, all that to say, we're still in early days of taking over the Hearthside Craftworks business. And it might be difficult for a lot of people to understand that, you know, well, you bought this business, when are you going to start shipping out product? We are not buying any of the parts that make, like, we're not buying the stand and then reselling it. This is like making it from complete scratch and then selling it. And so there are a lot of steps. So we do have a wait list for the stands. We have, you can email us at the shop, either myself, Caroline at evertote.ca, or Hannah at evertote.ca. We definitely have a wait list. We are about 85 people deep on the wait list, and we haven't even started sending out stands. We don't even have a price list. So if for the last few years you know you've wanted a Hearthside Craftwork stands, I would recommend that you email us, and you don't, there's no obligation to buy one. Just maybe get your name on the list. I can tell you that if you are the owner of a Millennium or Omnic frame and you've had difficulty getting the floor frame that will support the Millennium or Almanac frames, the Hearthside Craftworks floor frame does have adjustable brackets that you can use. You can use our floor frame for the Millennium scroll frames. I know that that was something. Now I have Almanac frames and I haven't tested it out yet. I'm still waiting for John to build me the first stand. I get the first one. And then so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a whole series of videos as we go on how these things work and how they, you know, go together and all of that kind of stuff. So all of these are plans that are going to be happening over the next few months. But this kind of work takes time. And so you know, people are emailing and saying, what's the price and what's the cost to ship to this place? Or, you know, I want to purchase this and can I have it now? We just can't do that. They're made by hand and they're really special, unique. Well, they're not unique. If you buy a Hearthside floor frame, that's the point. You're getting something that is exactly what you think it is. They're pretty great. So, yeah, if you're interested in one, we do have a wait list. So give us an email, and as soon as I have more information, Hannah and I have a little surprise for you. We have a new face at Evertote, and his name is Daniel. And those of you who live in London and you've maybe visited Stitch It Central, many of you will already have met Daniel and know him quite well. Daniel's going to be working here at Evertote for a couple of days a week. And today was actually his first day, and we got so much done. We cut so much linen for the holiday countdown boxes. It was amazing to have his help. He's a friendly, really super nice guy, and he already fits in really well with the team. So he's going to be here a couple of days a week. And eventually my hope is that he will also be helping us with customer service for Hearthside Craftworks. So that's what's going on. Other than that, I think that's it. Luna's good. I'm good. My father-in-law is good. And that's it. I think I filled you in. I have no idea how long this video is. It's probably ridiculously long. It's already 6 o'clock. I think I started recording at 4:30, so we'll see how we go. I might have to edit a fair bit out. But anyways, that's it for me today. I will have a video up on the workshop channel later this week with a little bit more information on the Nevermore, Lila's Studio Nevermore conversion that I'm working on. And once again, a reminder about the holiday countdown chart. There will be a link to, if you would like to follow along with the daily stitch along in the month of December, then you're going to want to get the chart. You're going to want to order the chart now and not wait. I have ordered, I think I have 100 copies left. If I need to, I can order more, but again, printing takes time. Shipping takes time, and so there will be a cutoff date as to when I can't sell this anymore for it to be really feasible for a December 1st start. So that's why this isn't kind of a last minute thing that I can wait and only tell you about at the end of November. I have to tell you about it now. So holiday countdown, daily stitch along. I can't wait to do Vlogmas videos. It's going to be really fun. Got some ideas. All right, I better go. This video, I need to get it edited and up so that we can have a visit together and not just me talking to myself. And I will see you later this week over on the other channel. So until then, I hope that you're well. I hope that you're safe. And I hope that you have lots of stitching to keep you company and bring you joy. Until then, take care everybody. Happy stitching.